Hey guys, and welcome into the video. I'm your boy tomjsherlock, and in this new series we're going to break down every single team that is competing in EUL this season and give you a reason as to why you might want to support insert team name here. We're going to start off with ITB, and we have a little short message from the head coach of ITB, King Ken, Big Ken, otherwise known as Kangaroo Kenny, the head coach of Into the Breach.
I'm Kangaroo Kenny, coach of ITB Esports in EUL, and you should support us because we are the UK massive team and we have put in foundations for long-term success for this team, and with your support we will make a major this year.
So who are ITB? ITB, Into the Breach, is a British esports organisation that first came into existence in the T1 EUL stage in second stage of the year last year. They acquired the spot from the team formerly known as TT9. So how did they get on in their first season in EUL? Well, they did okay. Well, this is how ITB did in their first ever stage in EUL. They finished in third spot, if you look just here. They won one game in regulation, won 2 games in overtime, and losing 1 in regulation. Finishing in third spot, just behind Virtus.pro and Wild. This then meant that they played up against Wolves and they unfortunately lost 2-1 against the ever impressive French side. They then went to drop down to the 5th place seeding match, in which they did also lose to Wild 2-0, so not the best performance in the knockout stage. This then meant that ITB dropped down into the last chance qualifier to make it to the Atlanta Major. They did have a bit of a successful run, beating Secret 2-1, going on to get their revenge against Wild with a 2-0 of their own, but then unfortunately lost that out on that last chance qualifier spot to everyone's favourite G2. So what did ITB do in that off-season to address the issues that may have presented them? Well, they made 2 changes to the roster, with Jonka and Kanto Raketti being dropped from the team, and young gunner Creeds and Oscar being brought into the team. Creeds was on that side of G2, not G2, bloody G-Who. They did beat G2 in the South Breach in the off-season 2-0, and Oscar was also playing for Secret as a sub in that South Breach tournament. Oscar put in an impressive shift. Creed's also putting in an impressive shift for G-Who, otherwise known as the G2 Academy team, which is what probably led to these 2 players being picked up. The rest of the roster, as you can see here, Azza, Kendrew and Noah remain. Kendrew, the team captain, and Noah, the only non-Brit or UK resident in the side. This young Swedish gunner is going to be the one player I would like to highlight and give you a little bit more information about as well. Here is the young gunner himself, Noah Urs, however you pronounce it. You can make your mind up. I could probably ask him, but I haven't done that yet, so we're just going to call him Noah for now. But Noah, a young gunner who was picked up from the T2 scene, and that seems to be a common habit of ITB as well. But I'm going to let this man's performance do the talking with a little clip he sent me, and it featured last season in their 8-7 overtime win up against Virtus.pro, in which he gets an absolute saucy little 3K. And I mean, just listen to the passion coming out from the team when they clutch up and manage to beat VP in overtime as well. It is just everything I love about competitive esports.
Take that. Nice. Run away. I'm gonna guide him. 20 seconds, guys. 15 seconds.
15 seconds.
Can you come get him? Item lost. Below. Item lost. Nice! Let's go!
Oh, let's fucking go! That's my fucking team! Drink that in, ladies and gentlemen. That is chef's kiss, pure passion. The next thing on the agenda, jerseys. Everyone in esports loves a lovely, lovely, lovely jersey. So what we're going to do in this series as well is take a look at the latest jersey for each of the teams we feature for this upcoming year. So we've got a little video from ITB in which they promo their jersey for this upcoming season. We'll have a watch of it, have a look at the jersey, and then I'll give my personal rating on the jersey out of 10. The pink and the purple together, I think, is a fantastic blend. It also has that iconic logo. Into the breach, the Knights charge on once more. I don't know if that's a saying, I may have just made that up. But I'm giving this jersey a solid 8.5 out of 10. Obviously, I'm not being biased, but you can use code tomjsherlock in checkout for some money off, because I am a content creator for ITB. Not biased, I promise. The jerseys are just nice. I feel like I should also announce, having said that I was a content creator for ITB, when I first told my mum that I was joining ITB, she spent 2 months thinking I had joined the television broadcasting company in England, ITV. So don't mix those two up, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're watching this, it's probably because you don't have a huge grasp of these teams inside of EUL. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break them down in layman's terms and compare them to sort of the footballing side. If you don't know anything about esports or football, you may be in trouble here, but I digress. ITV, in my eyes, are that sort of Leicester City sort of approach. The underdogs in people's eyes, but they acquire talent from the unusual spaces. They're not going after these big flashy players. They're going for sort of established T2, T3, some mainly T2 players inside of EU. And that has been identified, as we sort of alluded to earlier in the start of the video, the pickup of Charlie, otherwise known as Creed, and Oscar, also known as Oscar. So they're sort of these teams and players that are going a little bit under the radar. But what ITB seems to do, the same as when they picked up Noah, is go for these sort of non-flashy big name players, but put the faith into the system of picking up these T2 players. And that's one thing that I think ITB do very well as an org. They are also one of the only teams with an academy side. The academy side for ITB, ITBA, ITB Academy, also compete in competitive Rainbow Six Siege. And they've been putting in some pretty impressive showings in the off-season tournaments, especially in South Breach, and also the Malta LCQs as well, almost getting themselves a spot at the LAN. I'll show you now the ITBA Academy roster, just in case you want to follow them as well, because they are competing in the off-season tournaments and the EU qualifiers for Manchester. So the Academy side, here we have them here. Zodiac, Raiden, Skipper, Tazdog, up the Tazdog, lovely human being, and Akari. And this is one thing I really do love about ITB. It's about nurturing that talent from the grassroots and bringing them up. And who knows, ITB Academy are impressing a lot of teams, and they might get their shot at T1 in the future as well. So that brings us sort of to the end of this video. So why might you want to support ITB? If you're based in the UK like I am, you obviously have the roots of 4 out of the 5 players in this squad being tied to the UK. So if you want to support the best of British, you can support, I'll let Kenny say,
UK massive team.
Good one, Ken Dog. Yeah, boy. But in the wise words of Kenny, he gave me a little bit more information as well. And he just wanted to say, in a team that isn't really experienced inside of T1, apart from Kendra with previous experience playing in T1, all these players hugely believe in their potential and their capabilities within the server. So they've got the confidence in themselves. They're asking for you to have the confidence in them to perform this season. And Kenny also told me that they've been silently working through the off-season, and he thinks they've got a couple of surprises in store for the teams they'll be going up against in this upcoming stage. But that brings us to the end of this video, and hopefully you've enjoyed getting this little bit of an insight into ITB. Up the Knights, up the Siege, and we'll see you for stage 1, baby. See you soon. Bye.